Setelah dari Juli, Agustus, September, Oktober akhirnya tiba. Semoga sesuai dengan ekspektasi.
Tinggal bawahnya doang.
Ganjel bang, dapat mentok.
Ngambilnya di mana?
Eurocar, bro.
Oh iya.
Iya, Eurocar biasa.
This is the BMW M Coupe, so named because it was the M-ized version of the old 1 Series Coupe, and because historical reasons meant it couldn't be called the M1. Only 450 came to Britain, and it danced with the likes of the Porsche Cayman R, Audi RS3, and a few others. It was heralded by some as the latest, greatest thing, one of the best M cars ever, and it was all kinds of wonderful. That was probably thanks to its small size, massive punch, manual gearbox, and the fact it had been given a proper working over by the M division. Really, it's no wonder people loved it. Under its oddly short hood sits a 3-litre twin-turbocharged straight-six with 335 brake horsepower and 369 pound-foot. BMW reckoned it would hit 62 from rest in 4.8 seconds and would go on to 155 miles an hour. They also said it was quite efficient. It would do nearly 30 mpg. Now for 2011, that's both very fast and quite good on fuel. Here's the thing about the 1M. When it was new, BMW sold it for about 40 grand. Now, if you want one, you have to buy one for more than 40 grand. So if you've got one, or if you're looking to get one, you won't lose any money on them because they're hugely sought after. And when you look at it, you can understand why. It's small, it's practical-ish, it looks good, and it's a proper M car, which means it's properly fast. In all, it's pretty much bang on. The first generation 1 Series hatch was not a pretty thing, but I think the coupe really was. But with all the M gubbins on board, it just got better. It's a properly aggressive thing to look at. It's got vents, big wheel arches, a spoiler built into the boot, massive wide tyres, and those 4 pipes poking out from under its rear. Not only does it promise some serious pace, but it looks the part too. So to drive then the junior M car. Now, I last drove one of these many years ago, and it left an impression. It has a fantastic tactility to it. It's a proper engagement that nowadays is just going. Its gearbox is fantastic. The gear lever itself, it's a nice short, notchy change. It feels great. The thing that really impresses me though about this is how quick it feels, just how fast it is, because man, it can hustle. It's got that weird twin turbo series turbo engine things. There's a little one for low down, so you can get yourself up to speed, and then a big one for when you're hustling and you can just fly off down the road. You can, if you're not very good at skidding, put MDM mode on. It'll give you a little bit of heroics, make you feel like a god, and then rein you back in. However, you can turn all of that off, and you can have some serious fun. Now, compared to, say, a bigger car, it is a little bit short, is a little bit snappy, so when it does go, you've got to kind of, well, pick it up rather rapidly. But this thing, it just puts a smile on your face. There's loads and loads of grip on offer, and when you want to exceed it, you can, and it sounds wicked. The noise it kicks out, you don't lose anything here. Well, not really. If you look at the Porsche 911, you used to get that trademark howl. But with the turbo cars, a little bit more muted, a little bit quieter, not quite as exciting, whereas this is a turbocharged car. And people who say, oh, well, turbos are killing performance cars, people herald this as one of the greatest M cars ever. People say this is one of the best, and you know what, I'm kind of inclined to agree with them, judging by the cars I've driven before. When the 1 Series Coupe made way for the 2 Series, BMW's focus shifted. The odd-numbered cars were the sensible ones for families and business things. The even-numbered cars were for more lifestyle people. The 2 Series was the coupe for the cad-about town. It also meant a fast one wouldn't have to have a backwards name like the 1M. They could call it M2. The M2 poked its shiny head out of the parapet in 2016 to thunderous applause. All who have driven it seem to adore it. Much like the 1M, it's small, fast and hilarious fun. Why wouldn't it be? All the right bits are there. In here we've got a 3-litre turbocharged engine with 365 horses and 343 pound-foot. With the dual clutch automatic, 0 to 62 takes 4.3 seconds, and you get something called a smoky burnout mode. Now the stick shift is a little bit slower, 4.5 seconds to 62, but it will blip on your downshifts for you, which is pretty cool as they go. Now its top speed is 155 miles an hour, unless you spec the M drivers package. In that case, it raises to 168. Now BMW says you can get over 30 mpg as well, if you drive like an elderly lady. Seeing as both cars are here and I have a nice straight to play with, would it be rude to see who would win in a drag race? And actually, why am I even asking that? Unlike the 1M, the M2 isn't properly limited. I mean, yeah, you'll struggle to find one now, but sooner or later there'll be some on the used market, and they shouldn't be quite as expensive in the long run. When you look at it from BMW's point of view, this is now an entry level into the M ecosystem. It's not quite as expensive as the M3 or the M4, but it offers still that hint of M lunacy. You can daily this really easily, but at the same time, you can have some fun on the track when you want to. It's still got the M dynamic mode as well, so it'll properly get its arse out given the right provocation. You can turn everything off as well, so you can really get to grips with the car. This isn't a cut-price M car, but a bargain driver's car. Now, this is the second time I've been in the M2. The last time I was on some very greasy, very rainy roads in Spain, and I was terrified of falling off a mountain. Now I have a dry racetrack and a set of tyres that don't belong to me. I've also got the automatic. Last time I had a manual. Now, this auto gearbox is slick, man. It's really, really slick. We're in Sport Plus now, which basically sets the car to super slippery, have lots of fun on the track, and everything is as aggressive as it can possibly get. And I know this sounds hugely cliche, but it does feel like a proper development of the 1M. I mean, yeah, we haven't got a manual-to-manual comparison. The DCT does make life a little easier, but the engine feels so smooth. And it revs up so quickly, you can get some proper speed out of this, like some serious speed. The 0 to 60 differentials do speak for themselves, but yeah, this feels like a faster car. It feels less on the ragged edge all the time. With the 1M, it's a very urgent car. You feel like you're pushing it quite hard, whereas with the M2, it's just doing its thing. It'll daily just go around a racetrack, have some fun. The steering is a bit lighter than the 1M. If anything, I don't think it's quite as sharp, but it's still pretty damn good, actually. You don't feel like you have to put in as much effort with it either. This thing just glides. It really wants to play with you, way more readily than the 1M, but whereas the 1, you do have to provoke it a little bit. You've got to work it hard-ish. With this, again, it depends on your inputs, but if you know what you're doing with this, you know exactly at what point it's going to start playing silly buggers with you, and you can either choose to indulge it, or you can just back off, and it'll be a perfectly normal, happy little car again. I'm one of those people that says an automatic gearbox removes something from a driving experience, but in situations like this, when you're on a circuit, it actually makes life a lot easier. And the noise this thing makes, some of it is a little bit artificial, which is cheating somewhat, because you don't get that in the 1M. It grips so much, you can feel it digging in, then you just give it a little bit of a squirt, and it goes, oh, okay, no more grip, and no more grip. What a wonderfully communicative car. This thing is fantastic. Yes, the 1M is brilliant. It's a far more analogue affair. But as a car for the idiot, the M2 is going to take some beating. The question is, can the M2 live up to the 1M, or is it not quite as good? The 1M was a breakout car, a motor that brought back memories of the 2002 Turbo, but for our era. It was also a bit of a groundbreaker, the first proper M car to have a blow-up. Here's the thing, they're both fantastic. The 1M requires actual driving to get the best out of. Its manual gearbox is a delight, steering heavy but perfectly weighted. The engine is brilliant. The M2 is more composed, easier to drive, and a huge amount of fun as a result. It's a refined 1M. The M2 is going down as one of the great M cars, no doubt, but if it were my money, I'd probably take the old car home. Who needs refinement when you can have a little bit of a workout?